Right now, a jury is deciding the fate of the man accused of killing this woman, Paige Bergfeld, in 2007. The Grand Junction mother was living a double life as an escort. It took 5 years to catch the suspect, Lester Jones, who turned out to be one of her clients. I talked with ABC's Ryan Smith, who has spent years investigating this case, about what we can expect to see on tonight's 2020 special. So, Ryan, I think one of the more interesting aspects of the case, of course, is the fact that she was leading this double life. And you talked to her friends, family, people closest to Paige. Did they know about this other life she was leading?
Many people knew that she had some different things she was doing with this so-called escort service, but a lot of people didn't know how far it went. And that's one of the things we explore in this case. You know, family and friends, they didn't really know what was going on in her life. A lot of friends talked about how she was struggling to make ends meet, doing all she could to support her 3 children, really as a single mom. And so her business, the big question is, did it become something illegal? Family and friends say, no, it didn't. It was simply something she was doing to try to make some money.
And did they know it was dangerous? Because initially, the investigation focused on other suspects, her ex-husbands. It didn't necessarily zone in on that client.
You know, Nicole, that's one of the unique things about this story. Friends thought it was something like massage. Other people have alleged that maybe it was massage with a little bit of an element of sex. Not having sex, but some sort of interaction. But in all of this, one friend pointed out to us that there was one incident where she thought her life may be in danger, that she was threatened by a potential client. They weren't sure who. And this friend seemed to suggest that perhaps some of her business was putting her in harm's way. That's one of the big questions here. The man who was on trial is said to have been a former client of hers. He claims that they never had any sort of sexual interaction. But one of the questions that one of the problems authorities had in this case was trying to suss out the different clients that she had and question whether or not one of them might have had something to do with it.
And his defense has said that investigators just kind of botched this case, and it took 5 years before they named him. So what's your take on that?
Well, that's one of the toughest aspects of this case. The biggest problem for prosecutors is there isn't a lot of direct evidence in this case. There's no definitive DNA proof that it was Lester Jones. He gave his fingerprints, he gave his truck keys, and none of that seemed to tie him to this killing. A lot of the evidence is circumstantial. So that lets the defense live in an area to say, look, she had all of these different clients. There are 5 or 6 different men who could have been the one who killed her. That creates reasonable doubt for a lot of people out there, and you have to wonder, this jury has been deliberating this case for a week. You have to wonder if the jury is sitting back and saying, well, if there's no direct evidence, is it possible that someone else other than Lester Jones did it?
And again, you can watch the full story tonight on 2020 right here on Denver 7. That's at 8 o'clock.